Richard Feynman said, if you think you understand quantum mechanics, you don't.
You don't.
It's
Exactly.
too complex. No
Right.
one understands it, right?
Yes.
So I think we have to get it that when someone claims that they know what to do in situations that are incredibly complex and uncertain, that's not a good thing.
No,
That's a
not
red
at all.
flag. That's a red flag. Yeah. Yeah.
And I recall several times in my career at CIA where you could tell that let's say a policymaker, when we had provided them with analysis that very strongly indicated that continuing with that policy would be dangerous and that we needed to adjust or change our policy, that the policymaker, and in this case it was a man, you could tell, in fact they expressed it, that if we change our minds now, we will be seen as weak. And
Oh
you hear
God.
that all the time in
I
foreign policy conversations.
I
And it
know.
drives me nuts
It's like
because
you have to cut it out.
it's crazy. It's crazy talk, right?
Yeah, also the world has moved on from
Yes.
1952. So,
Yeah. And this
yeah.
idea that we can actually make concrete things happen through posturing, I don't know that that was ever correct, but it's not correct now. People
No,
have too much information. They actually know what's going on.
right.
And,
So it just seems like lying.
yeah, exactly. It just seems like lying. If only Joe Biden projected more strength. Golly, I,
Well, that's
I
one thing I think is really interesting actually, is because I saw him uh give a talk after his um sort of saying like, okay, it looks like the ceasefire for a couple
yeah,
days and the exchange for hostages is working. And there was a part of the talk was clearly written for him where he had to claim um, he kind of mission accomplished style, but he
yeah.
couldn't do it. He was like, look what my team and I did. he
It's
just
him.
he doesn't deliver it like that. And then later in the talk, when someone asked him a question, well, so do we know when more will be released? He says, no, we don't. And then someone asked him something else. He says, no, we don't. And he was so much more comfortable doing that. And I just thought, yeah, that's
Yeah,
why people criticize that kind of behavior, because they think that's not leadership, but
exactly.
that is called authentic leadership.
Yes, of
That is
course.
actually in step with what's going on.
Right.
Okay, wait. So back to the AI thing. But it all comes in there, right? This is the AI thing. This is the admitting to ourselves that we don't know, and putting ourselves into so a positive way to think about it is putting ourselves into student mind, or in a state of awe. Like
Right.
we ought to be in a state of awe. We have this amazing technology that's coming down
Yes.
the pike, and this is profoundly beautiful and maybe very extremely helpful to
Right.
humanity, right? Wow, what can we do with this? And being in that state of awe and sort of together wandering around the edges with our different natures and our different political biases and our different, business biases, and learning together what we can do with that, that feels like an actual revolution. Like
Yes.
that's, but sort of how do we get there? And there's a part of me that says, so we need to look toward the future. We need to look towards women
Mm-hmm.
as well as people who are not white,
Mm-hmm.
right? And
Mm-hmm.
we need to say, this is humanity's baby.
Yes.
This is humanity's baby. And what does it look like to be good parents?